What's going on, guys? My name is Omega and welcome back to another Apex Legends video. So today we're actually going to be breaking down the brand new story from the Outlands. I'm going to try to explain everything that went on just so you guys have a complete understanding about what happened in this video. Now, before I get into that, I also wanted to let you guys know that Apex Legends updated their website to announce the name of the next season. So Season 9 is not actually going to be called Season 9. It's going to be called Apex Legends Legacy, and underneath that it says Nowhere to Hide. We also have the new legend of Valkyrie, where it says bold, brash, fiery, and fierce. Kyrie Amara grew up in the shadow of her father's legacy, but now she's ready to launch her own. I do want to point out that in the background you can actually see the arm of BT, which is the same Titan that Jack Cooper piloted in the Titanfall series. I'll wait to explain that more until a little bit later on. But we also have infested Olympus. An infestation has sprung loose, strangling the city with roots and natural growth. So this is going to be, I guess, the map change that we're getting for Olympus. Then we also have the new weapon called the bow. Man, this looks so cool and really badass. This is a powerful and deadly weapon for those with the skill to wield it. Capable of inflicting tremendous damage at medium range, you'll need to make each shot count. Alright guys, now we're going to get into breaking down the brand new story from the Outlands. I want to start off by saying that this is probably one of the best story from the Outlands that we've gotten so far. This honestly made me pretty emotional, man. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll explain why as we go through this video. So the story from the Outlands starts with Kyrie, aka Valkyrie, finding the remnants of a Northstar Titan, as well as the helmet that Viper wore from Titanfall 2. Now, it appears that this took place possibly on one of Typhon's moons, as you can see the remnants of the Typhon explosion in the background. One other interesting thing that I wanted to point out is that Valk never actually found Viper's body or his skeleton. The only thing that she found was his helmet and the remnants of his Titan. Now, while this might not mean anything now, it is an interesting detail that I just wanted to point out to you guys. Now, Valkyrie ends up taking Viper's helmet with her as she travels to some sort of military base where she's greeted by a group of soldiers. One of the soldiers hands her a tablet with a number on it, which makes me assume that she was being paid to deliver some sort of cargo to these people. Valk jokingly asked for their manager because she wasn't satisfied with the amount of money that they were going to pay her. The manager comes out and reveals himself to be Blisk, the leader of the Apex Predators, as well as the creator of the Apex games. Now, after this, the story goes back in time to when Kyrie was just a little girl. You can see her reading the advanced training manual for the Northstar Titan, specifically how to do high altitude maneuvers. Now, while going through her father's drawer, she finds an Apex Predator card, which back then was used by Blisk when he recruited members to the Apex Predators, which was a mercenary unit who would only fight for whatever side paid them the most money. Blisk tells her that she has not earned the Apex Predator card when her father comes over to take the Predator card away from her. You can see her father has an Apex Predator badge on his belt, which signifies he has been working with Blisk for some time now. He tells his daughter Valk that he never wants her to fly in one of those death traps, which I assume he is talking about the Northstar Titan that Valk is so obsessed with. It's obvious at this point that Valk's father is just trying to protect her from her own imagination. He knows that she is his daughter. She's most likely gonna want to follow in his footsteps and do the things that he was famous for. The video jumps back to the present where Valk says that she is the best pilot money can buy. Blisk is not impressed by this, as pilots have not been around for quite some time, and he doesn't believe she has what it takes to keep that title. Now, keep in mind the pilots were specifically elite soldiers who piloted the Titans, but the video then jumps back in time to when Valk was just a child again, and she finds her father's Northstar Titan locked away in a shed. Now, one big thing I wanted to point out about this scene is that there's a chicken in this video that symbolizes the fact that in this clip, Valk is basically a flightless bird. In her eyes, she sees the Northstar Titan as a way for her to metaphorically get her wings and be able to follow the same path as her father. And just so no one is confused, Valk's father is Viper from the Titanfall series, hence why she even had access to his Northstar Titan in the first place. Now, after getting into the Northstar and figuring out how to walk around without destroying everything around her, Valk finally gets some momentum and is able to launch into the sky with her Titan. There's about a full minute of her flying around which made me extremely jealous because that looked like so much fun. But she gets a video message from her father who's telling her that her life is in danger. At the same time, multiple IMC ships appear out of nowhere to take out the Northstar for some reason. I don't know if they were like in some kind of battle or if they were specifically targeting the Northstar, but at that point Valk gets shot out of the sky and begins the fall to her death. Now we jump back to, I guess, the present, where the conversation between Valk and Blisk is being held, and at this moment this is where Blisk confirms that Valk is Viper's daughter.
That's the problem with most pilots, eh? Makes you blind. And gets the ones closest to you dead. Hello, little Viper.
We jump back to Valk falling out of the sky when Viper comes out and does one of the most badass things I have ever seen in a story from the Outlands. Now, if you play Titanfall 2, you obviously wouldn't have been surprised to see that Viper did survive this fall, in which he was greeted by Valk, who obviously also survives. At this point, you might be thinking that Viper is disappointed in his daughter, but I believe Viper is disappointed in himself. He told Valk that he never wanted her to follow in his footsteps, and he blames himself for bringing Valk into his dangerous world. We then learn that after this incident had happened, Viper left with Blisk without telling Valk why he was leaving. This moment appears to be the last time that Valk ever sees her father alive again. Now, while Valk is uncertain whether her father left because of her or not, she knows for sure that the reason he died is because of Blisk. Blisk does not accept the blame for this, as he says that her father knew what he was fighting for and asked Valk if she knows what she is currently fighting for. At this point, everyone was probably thinking that Valk was going to kill Blisk on the spot. Blisk ends up talking himself out of the situation by telling Valk that she is more than welcome to kill him, but if she does, she would be going against her father's wishes to not pursue the same life he did. Valk merely shoots Blisk's drink and tells him that her call sign is Valkyrie and that he will live to remember her name. The video ends with Valk in Rampart's shop attempting to reconstruct the Northstar Titan. Before everything fades to black, you can see what the final version of Valk is going to look like as the shadows of her wings finally appear, signifying that Valk has finally gained her wings. Now, what's interesting is that at the end of this video, we know that Rampart is trying to reconstruct the Northstar Titan. However, I know many of you guys are probably thinking this might mean that Titans are coming into Apex. We have a tweet from Ryan Rigney who's talking about the new stuff updated to the Apex Legends website, and he said, "No, Titans are not in the game, y'all gotta chill." So this might mean that, this Titan might have some significance to how Valk, built her specific suit, because as you can see in this picture, she's not actually in a Titan. She only just has like the wings as well as the missile launchers attached to her. So I'm guessing that in the next week or so, we'll learn that Rampart used her shop to help build these wings for Valk in order to give her flight. We know that she's not going to be using a Titan in the Apex games, like that would just be absolutely insane. Now, as for where this is going in the future, there are tons of different outcomes. What we know is that from one of the pieces of lore that Apex Legends posted to their Twitter, Valk is currently investigating a spot on World's Edge, specifically where the Harvester is. You can also see a piece of paper that lists the first letter of all of the names associated with the Apex Predators, those being Cuban Blisk, Sloan, Richter, Viper, Kane, as well as the former member Ash. So we already know that Sloan, Richter, Viper, and Kane are already dead. Cuban Blisk is alive, but we saw from the story from the Outlands that Valk had already visited him. Now we just have Ash, so it might mean that Valk is going to look out for Ash in order to maybe possibly get some more answers about Cuban Blisk as well as her father. I'm sure a big part of her journey is figuring out why Viper left in the first place, and that's something that we'll most likely discover in the next season quest. In another piece of lore that I showed you guys in the beginning of this video, you can also see kind of like something in a glass case in the background, which looks like a big seed as well as giant roots kind of surrounding something. It's hard to tell what this actually is, but we do know that Olympus is now covered in overgrown roots. Possibly what is in this picture might have something to do with the map change that we'll be getting in the next season, but again, there's still so much information we have to learn. I'm sure we're going to learn more in the next coming weeks as well as in the season 9 quest line, line. But that basically concludes today's video, guys. Hopefully this helped you to understand what's going on. If there's anything that you noticed from this trailer that I did not point out in today's video, please feel free to let us know down in the comments below. I want everyone to have their own opinions about what is going on rather than just what I found. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Drop a like if you did, and I will see you guys all on the next video. Have a great one. Peace out.